Hello everybody, Defense here, and welcome back to My Roots, a Minecraft series. We are coming off the back of doing a little bit of, we'll say housework. You know, we've been adding a good amount of stuff to our little starter area here, and I'm very happy with it. But with that, we are going to actually be leaving this area to be starting a new project back over near Lone Tree Corral. So we're going to get our horse here, who still needs a name, by the way. I did mention that in the prior episode. I'm actually recording this before it releases, so we may have a name by the end of this episode, but at this exact moment, we do not. So feel free to throw a name down below for our horse, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, we're going to swing on over here. I want to get started on our little villager breeding area. And the way I want to do it is I want to build an actual village. So we're going to be doing a new little spot right over here. I've already hopped in, kind of like marked out some spots here, kind of flattened some stuff, got rid of trees. But we're going to pretty much build up just kind of like a little cliff area here. Because I don't want them on the ground, because I don't want to have to worry about zombies. And I also don't want them to wander away. So I've got some resources over here, and I'm going to turn this whole little section here into a little bit of a raised kind of plateau cliffy area. I actually really like building these things. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. But I've really been enjoying it. This is going to be our path to go through. Oh, hello, little slime. There we go. Thank you. Oh, 2 slime balls. Even better. Yeah, we've got this marked, and that was one of the things I was thinking on it is, how did I want to do it so that we could still have the village and the road going through, and I think having it go through a nice cave under here would be very fun. So we'll be able to have the horses come through here. I think we may end up having our heads inside the block, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. It does give us a bit of space under here to build some stuff. I don't know what we'll put under here, but we will put something. The village will be accessible from down here, but the villagers won't be able to come down. That's at least the hope. We will have to see how that goes. I used every bit of dirt I had, except for that 56, plus flattened out everything underneath here. So we've got a fair amount of dirt usage and a large amount of our stone. I think I probably used about half of the stone we brought in. It was big. I'm happy with it. Was way quicker than doing these, I can tell you that. And I look forward to the future when we get a couple more blocks to kind of accent this out a bit more. But let's get ourselves back up there so we can take a quick look. Oh, come on. And now I'll have a spot so we can put Project House up here. But it's not giant. I wasn't planning on it to be huge. I actually don't remember if I've actually said what this is yet. This is where the villagers are going to live. I've always just done a villager breeder, and then you do a little section for them to, you know, be in, and you put them in little 1x1 cages, you know. I don't want to do that. I want to try and put a nice little village up here. We're going to put a wall up. I still haven't decided how I want to do it. I think I am going to do something small. I was thinking something a little bit bigger, like the Mirheim wall. But I think I'm just going to do a 2 block high thing, and I think that could be a good time here. So that's all going to be planning. That's all going to be stuff we're going to do. So I'm going to step away. I'm going to figure out what I want to do for a wall here. And then we'll get that up and going. And then I think I might put a couple buildings in. Or we'll work on getting some villagers over here. Because with the new chunks that have spawned around us, I do know that there's a village over there and there's a village over there. I haven't actually explored this way yet. So I don't know if there is a new village over here. I went through a couple iterations of the wall, and this is honestly the one that I feel fits. Oh, I gotta actually adjust a piece there, but we'll take care of that afterwards. I did originally have a set of stairs going up there, but we have to remember that zombies are sometimes kind of smart in this game, so I had to make it so that no mobs could find their way up into our little village here. This will be moved or changed at some other point. It just kind of fits right here, but we are fully walled in, fully lit up. We are half slabbed across the top, so nothing can spawn. And it's a little bit smaller than I had initially thought. Looking at it, it looked bigger. It's still pretty big. I definitely think we can still do a pretty decently sized village in here. And with that, I'm pretty happy about. So we're going to have to play around with it. I really just wanted to get the base structure in, because I don't know if I want to do custom buildings, if I just want to use the current buildings, if I want to build buildings a little more like the ones that are in the future. I'm undecided on that. And honestly, I really just want you guys to let me know in the comments down below which is going to be, you know, in your opinion, a better fit. I like the idea of doing the 1.7 villages, so like the current village buildings. I think that'd be kind of fun because it'll stick around even as we continue through to the other, you know, versions of the game, because at some point we do update the villages and it changes out almost every single building. So that's why I'm kind of considering that. I'm not 100% sold on the idea, so I'm really just looking for some feedback on it. But as I said, that's all we're going to do for the village today. We have a couple other little things I want to do, and one of them I actually put a poll out about a little while back. I want to say, as of recording, probably 2 weeks ago, and then involved duplication. And I am not a fan of just duplicating a bunch of random stuff. Like, I'm not going to be duplicating items and redstone and stuff like that. But I don't really have a problem with duplicating rails. I'm not going to use them a ton. Iron is already used in so many other things that I don't want to deal with it. So I do have a couple of pieces of redstone, some blocks, and a piece of glass to make a small rail duplicator. And as I said, we're not going to go nuts with it. I'm not going to make 3 million of the things, you know what I mean? I draw a very, we'll say, gray line when it comes to duplication. I'm okay with duplicating rails. I am okay with, well, I used to be okay with duplicating carpets, but in future with the ability to auto shear sheep, it's not really needed anymore. And duplicating TNT that is immediately used. Those are kind of the only things I don't really have an issue with. There's probably a couple other items here or there, or depending on the version, you know, we could do that. I do want to play around with the idea of sand duping, not to use the sand, just because I had never done it when it was a thing. And that's really it. I'll probably build the machine and never use it again. You know, just to be like, hey, I made this work. And I think that's really it for me. This actually looks really cool from up here. I am very happy with how this area is turning out. I've got a plan for that island out there. I've had like a bunch of plans for this island, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We are eventually going to have a couple of larger ships out here. And then I want to get a little bit of a harbor going in here with some docks, some buildings, stuff along those lines. Sorry, I just got distracted by our new, what we'll call our skyline, you know, our current skyline. That's mainly why I wanted to put that piece up top there, our little top, our roof deck. Because I think it looks really nice being able to come up here and see everything. So I misremembered. This does not work on regular rails, which is kind of a bummer. I have sounds turned off because this machine is kind of loud and kind of annoying. So I thought this worked on all types of rails. It does not. It works on every rail except for normal. So I had 13 in my inventory. I'm going to run this till, you know, for a little bit, and we'll take a look. And I still only have 13. But if I throw a powered rail in here, we're over a stack. So we'll probably just use powered rails. I've got no problem with that. It does work on the activator rails and stuff like that. I just, for the life of me, cannot remember the crafting recipe right now, so I'm going to have to look into it. Old Minecraft was a little bit harder. Oh, actually, I have the Minecraft books. Maybe I'll bust out the redstone book. I've got that somewhere in here. Yeah, I'll be able to use that. I got those after we were able to just do it in game, so I like being able to do it now. It is kind of a bummer. I also started with 16 rails. I don't know where they went. They may have glitched through the wall or something, but yeah, so that's the only downside. It's a very easy setup. You just have a burnout clock there running into 2 pistons. You need a transparent block on the back for this to pull to, and just this moving plus this moving, and this rail changing, it just kind of messes with stuff and somehow causes duplication. That is the best way I can describe it. So yeah, you'll see this one here pulls it in and out, and then when this guy pulls back, that will turn, creating a chance to duplicate. So if you look, now I'm at 4. So it goes pretty fast too. So sometimes it does not line up perfectly, so you can like miss it. So like, yeah, that one there I actually got it that time, and then that one again. So you kind of just keep going, and as long as you have something in your hand to push back, it'll just keep duplicating. So not a huge issue there. I kind of like it. As I said, we're really just going to use these for villager transportation, mob transportation, occasional decoration, which would have been these ones. So it did not save me from having to spend iron, but it did save me from having to spend gold and redstone. So I think that's a benefit for now. Let's get this finished out. I'm just going to kind of leave the room as is. We don't need to make it look pretty or anything. I did put a door on it and kind of make the outside look a little bit something, but also still kind of fit in. Because I don't know what I'm going to do for this cave yet. But once I come through and I do this actual walkway bending down and around to at least the stronghold, then after that we can kind of play around with a few other things. So we'll be able to decorate the inside and go from there. But I'm hoping to have this come out either right over there or right over there, and then have a drop straight down. But again, I'll play around with that as we continue on towards that point. But for now, those there are done. Continuing on with that vein of just building small machines to kind of do stuff. We're gonna build a little AFK fishing spot. I want it near enough to here where we'll be able to hang out and have the villagers breed and kind of do their thing once we get, you know, all that up and going. But I also wanted it in an area that'd be kind of easy for me to access. I was thinking over here, but I thought right here would work because we can just kind of put a little bit of something off the back of Project House here and kind of use it for the pair. You know, it's right here. It's not that far away. So I'm going to get this one built up. So this one I am actually going to share a tutorial to, because the other 3 fishing farms that I, for whatever reason, still have in my brain don't work in 1.7. They work in 1.8 and 1.9, and one other one's 1.8 and forward pretty much. So this one is an older one that I roughly remembered, but didn't remember all of it. So I am going to watch the tutorial on this, and I will link it for you guys down below, and I'll put it in a little card here. It is by Panda4994, so I will share that, as I said. But I'm going to get this built up. This is everything I need to do the full project. I'm not going to do... They have a little thing that allows you to spit more fishing rods at you. I don't think I'm going to spend that much time at it to be burning through fishing rods. So we're not going to go too nuts on it. But I'm going to get this built up real quick so that we can show you guys what it looks like. Fresh from enchanting a couple of fishing rods so that we'll be able to do some work over here. And I am very happy with the rods I got. So our first one, so this is the first one I did. So we've got Unbreaking, Luck of the Sea 2, and Lure 2. And then our next one, we actually got even luckier, Unbreaking 3, Lure 3, and Luck of the Sea 3. So those two out of 3 of those enchantments are brand new to 1.7. So 1.7, they did a bit of a fishing overhaul. So they added in more fish. I'm trying to remember exactly. I think it was they added in the salmon, the pufferfish, and the clownfish. 2 out of 3 of those can be cooked. There's a lot more info there. I'm not going to go too nuts or in depth into it. But they added 3 new fish, 2 new enchantments with 3 separate levels. And those there are Lure and Luck of the Sea. Lure decreases the time it takes for a fish to bite by 5 seconds per level. So we're, 10 seconds and 15 seconds decreased. It takes about 5 to 45 seconds for a fish to bite while fishing. And then Luck of the Sea decreases the chances of trash items like sticks, boots, and stuff along those lines. So that is all a good little bit there. We'll use this one here first. So this is the farm. It's pretty simple. They have a block over the top, but from what I remember, you usually want this open to the sky. Oop. So I left that. Boink, let me just fix that real quick. So this is Panda's design here. As I said, their tutorial will be linked down below, and I put a little card pop-up thingy in the corner earlier. I'm just going to kind of show it off around the edge. Sorry, my dog is itching herself in the background. I hope that's not too loud. But yeah, there's a whole nother system you can have to spit more fishing rods at you if you're going to do this for a long period of time and stuff along those lines. But this is all I really needed it for. So I'm going to flip this on and we're going to demonstrate it. So you'll see there, it hooks in and it catches the line, which stops the whole rest of the system from cycling through. It'll constantly cycle the door so that way you can keep casting. And there we go. There's our first item. And it's that simple. You just, you can switch your buttons up and stuff like that and then put a weight on it. There's a couple other ways around it too, but we got our first raw salmon. And we'll be able to go from there. This will get us fish, this will get us items, and this will get us a little bit of XP. But mostly it's so that I can do something while waiting for other stuff to happen. I don't plan on spending, each and every day, spending hours and hours over at this machine. I'm just really going to be, I'm waiting for some villagers to breed up. We'll go over here, we'll do some stuff, or I'm waiting for crops to grow in our flush farm, stuff along those lines. And just like before with the chicken cookers, I'm going to kind of set these up kind of around the world. Later on, it gets very easy to build these. You need like 5 pieces once you get to like 1.15 and up. So I am, however, going to spend a little bit of time AFK at this just to see what we can get out of it. So I'm going to set myself up a little bit of a fence so that way I can't get eaten by anything. And I'll see you guys after a little bit of an AFK session. So I left this running while I was editing up the rest of this video. We got an okay amount of stuff. We did get a lot of fish. Obviously, we are on a fishing farm, so we will get a lot of fish. But we only got 1 enchanted book, and it's kind of garbage. 1 fishing rod, which will be something to have. That'll be nice. I did switch to the 333 rod versus the 322. And then we got a punch 2 power 4. That'd actually be really good, especially if I go and grab some of my other bows from the skeleton farm. If I can find an infinity and an unbreaking, we're pretty much set. So that's not too bad. But we really didn't get a lot of other stuff. So we're going to have to play around with it. I'll be using this farm more, but as you can see, we've used a good chunk, about 1/3 of this fishing rod. And less than 1/3, probably an 1/8, a 1/6, somewhere around there of the other rod. So we're definitely going to have to get some more going in the hopes of getting just a couple of extra items here or there. The biggest thing I do want out of this are the books. A couple of bows to mix together would be great, and fishing rods to kind of keep myself going without having to go and fully enchant a rod and hope that I get all the right stuff. We did get 23 levels though, so not too bad, because as I said, I just left it while I was editing the rest of this video, so it's nothing too wild. My only complaint is I don't feel this fits well over here. So I'm definitely going to have to find somewhere else to put it. I just don't know where yet. Maybe I'll end up putting it inside Project House. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Maybe we could use another little bit of a building out here. Or maybe I can do the road in the next episode and we'll put it off the road over there or something. We'll kind of figure it out. But it is built. We do know how it works. And it'll either stay here for a little bit and I'll move it later, or I'll find a spot I want to move it to right away. But I do think this is where we're going to wrap it up today. We got a good amount done. This took me a while. There was actually a bonus video related to this. You guys will be seeing, I think Wednesday is when I plan to release it. So check that out there. And yeah, aside from that, I hope you did enjoy. And as always, I hope you had a nice night, day, morning, evening, whatever it is, or wherever you are. This is my defense. I hope to see you again soon. Peace.